Well, welcome everybody. Episode 10 of Soul Searching, the Soul Recruitment Podcast. And I'm very excited. We've got a great show today. We're going to be talking about something that I think people don't talk about enough. And we have Silvana Patrick here, my fantastic guest. And we're going to be chatting about how to style your inner essence for career success. Now you see, Silvana, I'm wearing my best shirt today for the interview.
Looking great.
Now, Silvana is a world-class personal stylist and brand specialist. She founded her boutique consultancy company 10 years ago after 15 years in the corporate world to help men and women unleash their unique style with a fresh and modern approach. Silvana has an international reputation, having run her business in Sao Paulo, New York, Doha, Melbourne, and now she's based in Sydney. Her experience in the corporate world and her profound knowledge of the fashion industry, where she worked in a luxury magazine and several fashion houses, have helped many people all over the world to feel more empowered and achieve success by portraying an image that truly represents their inner essence. So welcome, Silvana.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. We're going to be talking about some really great stuff today, so I'm very, very excited. We're going to be talking about why a disconnect exists between who people are and how they dress. That's a fascinating topic already. And discuss some of the benefits and opportunities that styling your inner essence can bring. So let's hand over to Silvana just to tell us a bit about her journey and who she is, and then we'll get into some questions.
Well, I always loved fashion since I was very young and pursued a career in fashion, which happens pretty quickly back home in Brazil. Brazil was not the fashion power that it's now. Well, it's become much bigger. So it was a bit difficult. So I migrated to the US and pursued my dream. And soon, I became, I joined Vogue US, a very, very well-known magazine. But that didn't last because I didn't like the industry. Actually, I have a fashion degree, and what I wanted was to create. That was never going to happen in the magazine. And I also didn't like the culture. It had nothing to do with my values. So I very frustratedly gave up the industry or my dream or so what I thought was my dream, and went back home and ended up entering the corporate world as you do. Stayed there for many years, too long. But in hindsight, what I realized now, it was meant to be, because now it gave me all the experience to be able to help people professionally. I learned what it takes the hard way. So now I can make people's life easier so that they don't need to go through what I did in order to get a competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
So that's what happened. And 10 years ago, I decided that I was going to help people, but on the other side of what I call fashion. It's not fashion, actually. So now I consult them on style, which is something that we all have and we don't know. If you ask people, they will say, I don't have a style, I don't have a defined style, but we all do, because that's what makes us choose one thing in detriment to the other. Like it doesn't restrict the clothes. It could be, the books you read, the films, how you decorate your house. This is all makes part of our style, our background, our culture, personal preferences. So we all have, but we are not aware that we have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, first I must comment on your lovely outfit.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful summer dress, a little bit more on the Spanish side. So,
want to tell us a bit about that? How you put that together?
Well, it's funny. I don't have one style, like one particular Some people are always looking very classic or very romantic. I go with the flow. I just walk up and, and say, oh, today I feel like wearing this. And everything falls into place. I don't recommend that to my clients because they need to master the basics first. But yeah, that's what.
I thought the sound is a little bit faint, Silvana. So I thought maybe just come a little closer to the mic. That's perfect. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Now, I really wanted to get into my first question. I like to start high level and then kind of drill down into some real case studies and tips and tricks. But why, in your opinion, is there a disconnect a lot of the time between who people are and how they dress?
Now, that's a very interesting question. And it's true that human beings are attracted to symmetry.
Yes.
Right? And the brain is designed for symmetry.
Yeah.
And we are attracted to looking good things, not necessarily good looking, but looking
in proportion.
Looking good, yes. Yeah. Or pretty things, harmonious things. That's why we are attracted to. It was back in the day the Hollywood movie stars, and then they were influencers. And then it moved to celebrities, and now we have the actual influencers.
Yep.
And big part of it is because people don't trust their ability to create harmony in themselves. They look for external clues. So it's amazing how people, like I said earlier, people don't know their style. They don't know even their body type. I know often people get all mixed up and all that. So that's because they find it easier perhaps that just find somebody, a muse or somebody they look up to copy. And they forget that we are all unique, right? There's nothing wrong with looking up to somebody, but what we are forgetting is that they're different people. Definitely. Completely different body types, completely complexions, lifestyle, budgets, and you name it, it's a completely different reality. So they transfer that, they lose. If you don't practice, you don't get good at something, all right? And it takes a little bit of effort, more for people than others, but at the beginning it takes a little effort, right? You really have to build the foundation and put an effort there. So I think that's the reason why, because the copy is never as good as the original. They look good because they're dressing for themselves.
Exactly.
It doesn't translate to you, so you lose your essence there, right?
So you really got to take you've got to be influenced by external factors, but adapt it to you.
That's exactly right. Yes. You can get inspired, right? I often get inspired by people, but you cannot lose track of who you are. And again, like, you won't look as harmonious when you were not dressed for your body type and for your complexion colors, for example.
And your personality, I think, too.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. So it's not pretty if you have a hectic routine, for example, running errands, picking children up and dropping them off, and and you cannot wear high heels, and you really have to look good but comfortable as well. And then often people don't even know how to wear high heels, and it doesn't look attractive, right?
Because for me, I've always been fascinated by dress and style because it's an expression of who you are.
Yes,
it's functional, but it's also an
opportunity to show your uniqueness, right?
Exactly.
It's how people will perceive you even before you open up your mouth. But sometimes it closes doors, right?
100%.
Exactly because of that.
And as we say, perception is 90% of reality. Perception is so important. And these days, I talk about personal branding a lot, and I think it's a fascinating topic, and reputation. But, a lot of the time, if you don't do the work on the external, on how you show yourself to the external world, people don't even get the opportunity to go further and explore further because they've already made an assumption, correctly or incorrectly.
Yes, exactly. And it happens very quickly. And the thought process is, can I trust this person? Is
Yeah.
this person professional, respectful, and all that? And it's really based on their background, on their culture, and all that. So that's what, we also have to.
Why do real
Uh,
estate agents always wear suits and ties and drive BMWs? Why do
yeah,
lawyers wear suits and ties? IT people
exactly.
can get away with wearing jeans and a t-shirt. It's
Yes,
all a perception.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly right.
fascinating. So obviously, I mean, I talk a lot on this podcast about job seeking, career opportunities, self-development, professional development. What are some of the benefits and opportunities that styling your inner essence can bring?
Well, like we said earlier, it's really brings forward your personality. So people straight away will um, think, you know, whether you match the role or not. If it's a creative role or if it's more conservative role, they will really say, well, this person is able, is ready for assuming the job. And that's very true, because if you are attentive to detail when you wear, that translates to all aspects of your life, right? If you pay attention to, grooming or, little details, it means that you are organized, and it's simple as that,
I
right?
agree with that. Yep.
So it's just an extension of who you are. It's the outer shell, but it really, really resonates what it's inside.
Definitely. It's your outer
So
signature that represents
yes,
who you are as a person. Are you articulate? Do you have a strong attention to detail, as you just mentioned?
yes,
Do
yes,
you take pride in what you do?
yes.
All these things, it's an extension of
Yeah, another
attitude.
very interesting thing that people talk about, it's when you are looking forward to aspiring a promotion or something, when you are dressed ahead of the game, right? It really shows you're ready. And it's really like, it's a both internal, external thing that makes you feel ready as well.
Definitely gives you
And then you
confidence.
get ready. And then because it's one thing reinforces the other. So people believe what they see. And
Yeah.
if they see you as successful, in their eyes, you are successful. So the thing, fake until you make it, works,
Yep.
right? It does work. It's an energy moving towards the goal.
Yeah.
So, and clothing does magic for that.
Yeah.
And what I like to bring people's attention is that it's a fantastic tool that you can bring to your side once you master it. It's not mastery. There are a few elements of style that you have to understand what they do in order to create the final result that will be in line with your goals.
Yeah. And it's also there's a lot of perception and self-awareness and awareness of others involved in this as well, because as you start to observe the responses you get from how you dress, you can get certain clues about
Yes.
whether you're on the right track or you're not. And you can, if you analyze and try and reflect on what's happening to you and around you, in
Yeah.
terms of that, you can really learn.
Again, it's all about awareness, right? It's all about paying attention to what's happening to you, and not just assuming or creating false expectations or false ideas. It's just all a question. We do that for many things, and we should pay attention to how we dress as well in that matter.
Yeah.
In that way.
I mean, and this is so important for every aspect of your working life and your personal life. It's good. It's incredibly important when it comes to job seeking. It's
Yeah.
incredibly important if you're looking for a promotion, if you're looking for, um, even in your personal life, if you're looking for certain things, how you dress can also manifest certain results.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to say that it triggers a positive cycle.
Yeah.
So the other day was funny that I met a colleague of mine, and he came to me, very bubbly guy, very very typical Aussie guy,
Yeah.
and he came to me and you know spoke softly to me and said, "You know what? I knew I was going to meet you, and I put an effort in what I'm wearing, and my wife gave me a compliment.
Oh,
It
wow.
was like
There you go.
first time after 10 years, and that made my day. I
Wow.
felt really touched because it meant to him. So it was a meaningful compliment, right, from somebody special. So that's really what it's really powerful when you feel great like that. It changes your energy level. Perhaps you even join the gym that you've been procrastinating, or you finally start the diet, and then a positive cycle triggers, and then you feel like we walk taller, and you want to interact with more people, and
Yep.
you do more networking, and you get better at networking.
Exactly.
And on the other hand, people feel attracted to you because you're, the way you look and the way you behave, and the energy keeps up moving that cycle, and more opportunities arise. It's just
100%.
yeah,
I'm very passionate about that. I mean, I always tell everybody you have to work on yourself before you start working on, small skills and tactics and hacks for success. And this is a part
yeah,
of that as well.
yeah,
Absolutely. Um,
yeah.
Now, do you
Now,
go for it?
yeah, we talk about dressing impeccably, right? And there are a few things to be explained about dressing impeccably. It's not just putting a suit on, right? Off the rack, and okay, I'm all dressed and all good. So first of all, it has to be the perfect fit. You can buy a comfort suit that's $20,000 and still look, like shabby if
Yeah.
it's not the right fit, because chances are that you don't have a model body, and it's not going to look good. So you really need to recognize quality doesn't come with a price tag, and dress for your body constitution. And another thing is that sometimes you don't need to dress a suit, right? The situation doesn't, not necessary, and you can create discrepancy if you do so. So it's just a question of knowing how to dress, and and again, being more mindful.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point. Sometimes, if everybody's wearing a suit and tie, you can easily get lost in the crowd. But if you pick your um, outfit carefully, that it still fits the environment that you're going to be in, you can actually differentiate yourself with a bit of
Yeah,
style. And that's just the beginning. That's just a little head before people start to want to know more about you because you have differentiated yourself
yeah,
externally. So there's
yes,
a lot of strategy involved in this.
exactly right, exactly right. Yeah.
Now that brings us to a really good point. I mean, what about budget? I mean, can you do this on any budget? Some people don't have a lot of money to spend on clothes. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, another very good point. Like I said just now, quality doesn't come with a price tag. There are designer clothing that are shocking quality, right? And some very affordable brands, they have good quality. We have to know where to invest in the pieces, and which pieces we should invest.
Yeah.
Right? Some pieces, they really elevate any look. So there's no point in spending hundreds of dollars in a pair of jeans, for example, right? But in a jacket, that would change completely the outfit. And again, it's just recognizing quality. Just feel the fabric, take time. It's money that you invest in.
Yes.
Make sure that it's a good quality piece that will last for, neutral colors that have quality that will last, stand the passing of time, and classic cuts, because if you get trendy stuff, it will be short-lived.
Yeah.
But knowing where to invest in a few pieces and making good friends with a tailor, I really highly recommend a mode fashion like that. And even if you buy, tailor-made a piece or two, they really have a great sense of color that matches you, and that's very important. That details, because color is science. I'm not a huge fan of buying an entire wardrobe based on your complexion, because we age, especially women, they change their hair color. That changes a little bit. So it's a bit silly to buy, build an entire wardrobe based on that. But there are a couple of things that will never change. For example, your skin undertone for men and women, you either cool or warm.
Yeah.
So that won't change, right? The change is in between the depth, because you get more tan in summer, and perhaps you age, you get gray hair and stuff like that. So that changes the depth.
Yes.
But the undertone won't change. So you know that if you're warm, your color should be yellow based. And if you're blue, your color should be blue based, not just blue, but all the blue based colors.
Gotcha.
So that's all you need to do to know. And find, how do you find that out? There are a couple of tricks. You can look at the back of your wrist here and see the color of your vein. If
Wow.
it's more like olive tone, you're warm.
Yep.
And if it's blue, you were cool.
Wow.
And also, if you put a piece of white paper next to your face, you will realize that if your skin is more yellow or blue compared to the paper. So that's good, 2 good tricks to learn. And for men, it makes a huge difference, because you buy a suit, you're not going to be buying, and that's not a lot that you guys can do. With women, we can put a scarf or jewelry just to balance that out, but you guys don't have a lot of options. So that's important that you get the right color of suit for you. And make, like I said, the tailors are great with that. They have that kind of understanding. So that's what I would start with.
Wow. It's really good to complement your skin color with the colors of the clothing.
Exactly. Otherwise, clash, right? If you're yellow based, you're warm, and you wear blue based colors, you kind of get green, right?
Yeah, I like that. That's very interesting.
It is science, because the color around your face will reflect to your face.
Yeah, that's true.
And will clash with your color complexion. So that's why people look tired. They look, the lines and things, the bags under their eyes, they get emphasized.
Yeah.
And whereas you wear the same color, you just look more youthful. The color is much more harmonious.
Yeah, absolutely. And certain colors bring out certain features. So if you work together with your body type and the colors of your features.
Exactly right.
Very interesting.
Yes. That's the science of style.
Style, I love it. Now, have you got any interesting examples or case studies that you can share with us?
I actually do, and all of them are with men. Or like I just shared one. I actually have one with a girl as well. So I had a client back in US, back in New York, and he was in his mid-30s, a very, very smart guy, but he was getting very frustrated because he was not getting promotion.
Right.
Was not getting, like, he was feeling that people are getting ahead of him. He was left behind. So you know how competitive New York is, and they really realize it's the culture there. In New York, I'm not saying the US, but New York is really driven and competitive. And he hired me and said, look, I tried it all, right? I have, all this degrees and all this, everything that I've done, and hired a career coach, and still not getting ahead. And he said, oh, you're my last try.
The last hope.
Yeah. I felt the pressure, right?
Yeah.
And actually, we went through his wardrobe. I really updated it and, like sharpened it up. Went for the missing pieces, and we created a very nice wardrobe, working wardrobe. And still nothing, right? Still nothing. And then I'm very persistent, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna investigate all his environment, and started stalking his bosses and all the people, his peers, and like it's very easy to stalk people. And I noticed that his superiors, his immediate bosses, and all they were very conservative. The mission, the vision of the company was very conservative.
Yeah.
And I saw them, photos on weekends with their families, but still very dressed.
Yeah.
Nothing laid back about it, right? still with a really nice quality polo, and
Polo, I can just
nice
imagine the
shoes
polo.
and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
The hair is still very, impeccably, no freezes or anything, that kind of thing. And I said, and then it gave me, like a click. And I said, why don't you take your earrings off? He had a very discreet earring,
Oh,
right?
God.
And you know what? After not long after, he got the promotion, and that was insane. Like, something really,
Wow.
but it really, really, that's how sensitive people are.
Yep.
You never know, right?
Yep.
Sometimes it's a small thing like that, but in most cases, they'll never tell you. Right? Nobody will ever tell you. Or when I heard from the bosses throughout the years that I cannot promote my super smart employee because of how he or she present themselves. I cannot take them to a board meeting or to visit an important client.
Yeah, yeah. Because I
Because
suppose they want them to be able to fit into as many different environments and personality types as possible. And if they
yeah,
worry that if they're going to clash with one, that's a risk. So better to be more conservative in that respect. Yep.
exactly right. Exactly right. It's much better to err on the conservative side because you reach a bigger range,
Big audience.
right?
Yeah.
And another, I could spend a day here with you telling, but another one very, very interesting that happened is that I went, the last year, full of, functions and end of year, um, um, you know, um, people getting together. And I went to, like one of the last ones of the year. I was tired of doing these functions.
You're tired of
And this one,
stalking the environments.
I know.
Not at
Oh, I
all.
normally turn off when I'm in social environment. I turn completely off.
Yeah.
So that was funny because I spotted a girl on my way in, and then loved the way she was dressed, and got up with a few friends, caught up with doing my things, and there was a point that was really done, and I was really really ready to go home, and I was out on my way out, and I saw her again, and I couldn't help myself. I was really exhausted, but I couldn't help but just get out of my way and go talk to her and say, "Look, I love the way you dress," and that's not like me, right?
Yeah.
But I just couldn't help. It was an impulse.
Yeah.
And long story short, turned out that she follows me on Instagram, and she had sent me a message a few days earlier
No way.
to connect, and I didn't know it was her, and she didn't know it was me. In the dim light, we didn't recognize each other, and turned out that became partners. Right? She's a huge PR, and she's looking for a stylist, and like because of how she dressed, we open up an opportunity.
Amazing.
Right? And that illustrates everything we're talking about.
100%.
Right?
It's like a hidden string that connects people.
Yes, yes, yes. It's interesting. The synchronicity that happen. You just open doors. Yes, or you close doors. Right on the other hand.
And do you generally work more with women or men or both?
I work with both. Yeah, I actually love working with men, except my husband. Men normally do what they're told.
Yeah. What happens when you take him shopping?
Oh, it's easy because men don't like shopping, right? So they're really open. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But it really depends on where I am,
Yeah.
right? In New York, it was pretty much 60-40. It's still more women.
Yeah.
But here in Australia, it's 80-20, the ratio. The guys are not so open yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, in the Middle East was 100% women.
Wow.
So yeah, it really depends on
Wow.
where you are, right?
That's fantastic. I mean, it's well, even men, like now you can see a lot of new fashion with beards and with tattoos and earrings and different things. So men are starting to dress much more they're starting to be much more aware of their style.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that'll start to change more in Australia as well.
And also looking more, taking more care about themselves, you know, their skin, their hair. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome that you guys are, you know, starting to.
Men are going to barbers and having haircuts every couple of weeks. When I was young, you'd go for a haircut every 6 weeks. Now we want to make sure everything's constantly maintained, and we're becoming quite into our style.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great. Yeah, I really admire men well dressed. You know, like it really draws, you know, my attention when I see a guy, you know, like you feel like getting out of the way and really paying a compliment, because we know that it took an effort, right? For women, it's kind of, you know, no brainer, everybody would think, but for men, it's really a big thing.
Awesome.
And I'm glad it's happened.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so, what are your plans for this year? Any new ventures or new add-on services to what you provide?
Yeah, being new to Sydney, I just moved a year ago exactly. So what I like to do is, you know, be connected with great professionals. So I spent 2019 looking for the right people who extend my business. And this year is going to be big in personal brand. So I'm partnering up with marketing companies and photographers like yourself. And these people they really have to be curated to the standards that I'm after. And so this year we're going to be big on personal brand. And you guys, if you're not into personal brand yet, stay tuned, because it's gonna really it started already, but this year will be major personal brand. Well, like it or not, you really have to join in, otherwise you'll be really left behind.
I 100% agree. I mean, the world is getting more and more competitive, and you know, we need to know how we're being perceived in the marketplace and in the world, whether that's from a promotion point of view, job seeking point of view, a personal point of view. I think it's very important, and personal branding is something that everybody's talking about, and it's nothing new really, but it's become more and more, you know, more and more on the radar for people these days.
Exactly, and even companies are investing in people who have a personal brand.
Definitely.
It's unbelievable. If you have a look in the internet, you see that people are looking for people with a brand. And so there you go. But the image of your personal brand has to be in line with all the aspects of your personal brand. Otherwise, you create discrepancy there, and people notice, people get it, right? So if the image is in line, is yourself, reflect your inner essence,
yes,
the message is much more powerful.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. People, even subconsciously, people will perceive a disconnect very quickly.
Exactly.
So you really have to be in line with who you are. I think that's a really good point.
Yes, exactly.
So before we finish up, are there any other tips or tricks that you can give men and women for, you know, that they can take home and use straight away before?
Well, I can't stress enough that, you know, it has to start in front of the mirror, right? And you really have to embrace your flaws and accept, you know, and enhance your assets. That's what's, you know, in sum, that's all it's all about. And the second thing I would say, curate your wardrobe. Get rid of anything that doesn't work. Yep. Get rid of all the cluster, because it's energy that's stuck there. Yep. Stop buying compulsively. You know, like we plan our lives, our career, how we bring up our children, and we leave our closet to chance. So less is more. Invest in quality pieces, yep. Perennial pieces, neutral colors, classic, great quality, and you can play with trends, but every now and then, you know, that don't make the bulk of your wardrobe. 80% classic pieces, 20% you play with it, because trends are nice, right? But not all trends are for everybody. Just the pick ones that work for you. and they are an opportunity to show you your personality. So that's fine, right? But don't be slave of that.
Yes.
And I think that's a good start for most people.
That actually brings up a really good point. Is it good to have a spouse or a family member or a friend give you a second opinion, or is it better to just try and be who you are?
Oh, they will always bring their own personal taste, right? Which doesn't necessarily translate to yours.
Right.
They will be partial. And although, nothing wrong with, I wouldn't recommend to bring anybody shopping with you unless this person is very impartial.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Which is really seldom, right? You either bring that friend that will make you buy the entire store, or you.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea to go shopping without like if really commit, right? Just again, like it's planning. If you need a pair of pants, don't come back with a bag,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
most often happens.
Keep your focus.
So focus, that's right, focus. And that's it, because you end up with a full wardrobe, nothing to wear, like the conundrum of most women.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I mean, thank you so much, Silvana. I think you've given us some amazing insights and information that we can take on board and learn and help us develop our own style and continue to get more opportunities just by showcasing who we are inside by what we wear on the outside. I think that's a really important point. And as I mentioned, this applies to everything in life, whether it's work, personal, the same theories apply. But before we wrap up, what's the best way for people to contact you to organize consultations and learn more about, some of your blogs and your videos?
Yeah. Well, I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram at Silvana_Patrick.
Right.
Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me there. And you can always send me an email at silvana@silvanapatrick.com. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. And it was lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And of course, your website is silvanapatrick.com.
Silvanapatrick.com, yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Silvana. Hopefully everybody got a lot out of today. And that's it for us for this one, but we will see you very, very soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching us.
Thanks for coming.